your parents tell you if you grow up and be tough, right? And you describe that as in a scenario where you're in a household with a father.
Right,
That's,
right.
that's what
The
I'm
father
getting
not
at.
there, not them household
The
you talk
father
about.
then them a
Yeah.
household, right?
Right.
So a lot of these Jamaican men that don't have a father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, they do two things, right? They emulate their mother,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
So,
And most of them go on like them
emo-
a,
them a dance.
like
Yeah.
a woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why you see a lot of Jamaican men they will plait up them hair and put a lot of bubbles and all them
Because
kind of hair.
yeah,
But they
Yeah.
want to be like mommy.
like mommy.
You
Yeah.
understand? And then the second thing now, if they don't emulate their mother, they emulate the don in the community. So
The man figure, the
the
father
man
figure,
the
that's
father figure is the don.
what them
Because
know.
if you
Yeah.
look at these criminals in depth, right? The leaders of these gang, they treat these youths, these young youths, as their father.
Yes.
Yeah, you ever hear this crazy thing in Jamaica? You ever hear
Good evening, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another evening of Let's Talk on Livewire Radio 95.7 FM and livewireradio.com. You know I be DP alongside J Star and Shawnee B. So, everybody, we're getting ready to jump back into this series that we've been talking about the crime and violence that's been plaguing Jamaica for the last several years. Since late 90s coming along, and we're just looking at some of the solutions that we believe would be definitely helpful in Jamaica and help to change a lot of the what's going on there. So again, I'm gonna turn it over to the host J Star. J Star, what you say?
Hey, good night, everyone. Thank you for being here, guys, and thank you for just able to just be here and sit down to have a really good conversation and sharing our opinions and some of our feelings
Yeah.
on what we think about some of the things that's going on in Jamaica and so
Yeah.
on. And but not to drag the thing out tonight, but just to jump straight into it, right? There's a quote that I read earlier,
Yeah.
right? There's 1.6 million Jamaican kids that does not have the same last name as who the real father
Father
is,
is right.
right?
Yeah. That's a big
So
problem.
based on the conversations that we've been having in other episodes, I really wanted to ask that question because I feel like that plays a big part
It does.
of why a lot of things is going on in terms of crime, kids being lost, don't have no direction, and so on. So let me know what you guys think about that.
Yeah. So, all right, let me tell you something. One of the biggest and one of the biggest misnomer in Jamaica, because growing up as a Jamaican child back in the days when I grew up, I used to remember my mother says a woman can't do what a man do and still be a lady, and she refers that to the fact that Jamaican culture have this sexual thing about it where man have whole heap of woman and run around and do whatever with a whole heap of woman and whatever, right? But the theory or the thought was that women didn't do the same thing. Well, recently, and I think that's probably part of the article that you read, we found out that women was doing the same thing or even more than what man was doing. So a couple of things happened. One, either these women were messing with other men and they actually give the child to another man who thinks that it's not his child and then he doesn't really play a part in that kid's life, or basically the women behavior is such that the men get drive out of the house. And to tell you the honest truth, the thing that I see most of all is that most progressive men who wants to get up and go out and work and get an education, a lot of women, especially in Jamaica, look at them and they say them slow. Them not do nothing. You not flash, you not do this. Them want the gangster, them want the bad man, them want stuff. So a lot of the kids wind up with either their mother name or some man name which is not the real father. And a lot of these men disappear out of these kids' life.
Okay.
Right? And disappearing out of their life, now the kids, because naturally as a youth growing up, whether it's a boy or girl, and one of the things that I look at is like a lot of women like to say, well, me raise me pitney and me can't raise a woman. I'll tell you this straight up right now. And if you disagree with me, you could say it in the comment section, but I'll tell you straight up. No woman can raise a boy to be a man. No woman can do that. She can try her best, but he needs a male figure to see. Because a lot of times when people look at kids, they think that kids do what you tell them to do, right? Instead of looking and learning from the things that they see. And you have to understand that kids learn from what they see. If they get up and see a guy getting up every day and him go to work and him provide for the family, which is what I saw as a kid growing up with my dad, right? Get up, go to work, provide for his family. Was a very tough father, wasn't an easy guy. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of ass whooping from him. You know what I'm saying? I was more terrified of him than I was terrified of the cops or anybody on the streets. I was more afraid of him, right? But what I saw from him is that no matter what, he was out there grinding, trying to bring money home so that we can eat, sleep, and drink. And we always live in a nice house. We always have food. We always have certain things that even certain people never have. But he always makes sure that we had those things, right? When you drive the men out of the home, right, where you don't have those men there, fathers like that, right? Then what happened? Where them boys gonna learn? All them see is mommy going out, mommy going do whatever, and mommy probably have 3, 4, 5, 6 boyfriend where really that's how she make the money. So tonight we not no chicken, we not no meat for the rice, or we not no meat for the dumpling. So mommy go check the little man down the corner there, so and the little man do what he want do with her, and she come home get a little thing for buy some food. That's what they see.
So Shani, what you think about just 1.6 million kids growing up without, having their fathers, their real father, their biological father, last name on their birth certificate?
Yeah, good afternoon, people. Yeah. So, I think it's a big issue, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a big issue in Jamaican society, I would say, because not having a father as a young man growing up, it's a big challenge. You understand, for a lot of young men, and looking towards your mother to guide you to be a man, that not gonna work. You understand it? I could tell you from my personal my personal experience. You understand? If I never had my father, I don't think my mother would be able to raise me. Yes, I'm not saying that you don't have women out there that can raise them son, but you have some exception. But for the majority of it is that you wind up with these youths, being lost. Because when you're in your teenage years, those are the most vulnerable times of a young man. Because you're looking for your identity. You're trying to find out who you are.
Right.
And having your mother raising you, it's like it's not gonna work. You understand? And when you say 1 point what?
1.6 million.
Yeah, so
That's a big number.
Yes.
So all right. So the issue with this, right? There's 2 issues with that number, and when you look at that number, you have to be kind of careful why you say that. Because Jamaica have this archaic registrar system, right? So basically, if you're not married, right,
you can't get the father name.
You can't get the father name. If you're married,
right,
you can get the father name on it. So that's probably one of the reasons why you don't
that number is so huge.
That number is so huge. But there is a number of it. There's a contribution of men not being there, not being present, for the number to be huge.
Right. But you know what? Even with that system, I think there's a way around. There's a workaround, and I'll tell you why. I have recently, probably about, I want to say 5 years ago, recognized that 5 or 6 years ago, recognized that I have a sister that I didn't know, which my dad wasn't married to her mom, and she has our last name. And so there's a workaround. I know that system is how it is, but there's a workaround. There's still an issue there. And you see this problem that you're talking about, where the father is absent out of the kid's life. I personally witness it being a major problem. See, Jamaican people might not think that is a problem, but I remember throughout the 80s and 90s in the United States right now, talk about places that I physically know about. I can talk about other places that I don't know about, but I talk about New York, New Jersey. There was an epidemic going on with the drugs and everything that was going on, and the crime, and the crime was very high, and a lot of things. The same place in Newark here where we live, it was crazy, the things that was happening. And one of the problems is that the fathers was exempt from the home. A lot of the fathers got caught on drugs. They got kicked out of the house. Women say, well, I don't need no man. There was this one thing that I used to hear. I'm an independent black woman. I don't need no man. A lot of women were saying that. And so they kick out the fathers. The youths, just like what's happening in Jamaica, were looking to other young youths to kind of raise them. And what happened is they turn out to be this crazy time. No, if you look now at how things are in Newark and most of the place, most fathers are trying to be there. And you notice that the crime rate reduced dramatically.
So-
Most fathers are there when somebody have their kid right now, a guy have his kid, whether he's rich, poor, whatever, he try to be there and be some kind of a father because a lot of them didn't have their fathers.
So the thing with Jamaica is this, right? There's two problems there. You have this culture, this you touched upon it earlier, this Gallis culture.
Gallish culture, yeah.
This breeder culture where
Yeah.
Jamaican men feel like all they have to do is just go out and just
Breed and walkway.
yeah, have pitney and walk away and take care of the pitney. And this come from a slavery mindset where you know, Jamaicans still have this mindset, sadly. You understand that you're supposed to, you know, have kids. That's your main focus as a man, just to have kids. You understand? I remember years ago, I was working at a place and I was about 19, just turned 20, I think. And this guy came up to me, he's a Jamaican.
Right.
And I said, yo, pull me aside, say, yo, you're 20 now, you know, you need to have a youth.
You need to
Yeah.
spread your wings.
So I said to him, I said, yo, I'm in college, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have no kids right now. Like,
Right.
I'm trying to have, you know, get
Get
myself
yourself together.
financially stable.
Right.
And this is coming from a Jamaican.
Right.
You understand? I would expect him as, you know, a fellow Jamaican trying to
Said what?
encourage you.
Right.
And this is in America.
Right.
You understand? So it tells you the mindset of Jamaican men. So
Right.
more likely they want to just have
Have pitney.
and
Breed
then
and
get to
pitney.
this point of not being financially stable to take care of these kids. Even
Right.
though these men want to take care of their kids, you know.
Right.
Because as a man, you want to be a provider,
Right.
right?
It's
Even
in your
though-
nature to be a provider.
It's in nature, right? But even though you want to take care of these kids, you're like, man, I can't do that because I have to take care of myself first.
Right.
But do you guys feel? Do you guys feel in terms of just for males, for the men, right? That we as black men has been growing up in a household where our parents always teach us how to be tough. Even like if you fall, they tell you not to cry.
Right.
Get up, rub it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They teach you how to be mature and a certain way. Right. Hold on 1 second to me. Right. They teach you how to be a certain way. So as a man growing up, you've just been seeing this pattern.
be hard, you have to be
hard
tough.
and tough, right?
Right.
So now, when this young man get older now,
That's the way
he figure that okay, how daddy act or how uncle act,
Right.
that's how I supposed to
Well-
act,
Right.
right? So, in terms of right now, like we just mentioned, the 1.6
Right.
million kids that grow up without having the father last name, right? The biological father last name,
Right.
and then you have 40% of women that is the head of the household.
Right.
40%, that's almost 50%.
Right.
That's a huge number.
That's a huge number.
Right? So my question is to that, right? Is basically why don't we change the mindset of how
do
we
we-
grow our kids and let them show the emotions and understand you're not soft for crying.
Hold on. So this is the thing, right? You said two things there, right? All right. Well, one thing you said there that stood out to me, where you said with that scenario where you said, your parents tell you to grow up and be tough, right? And you described that as in a scenario where you're in a household with a father.
Right.
That's what
The
I'm
father
getting
no
at.
day, not them household.
The
you're talking
father,
about.
then a
Yeah.
household, right?
Right.
So a lot of these Jamaican men that don't have a father, right? They do two things, right? They emulate their mother,
Yes.
right?
So-
And most of them go on like them
Emo-
a- like
them
a
a dance,
like
yeah.
a woman, right? Yeah, so that's why you see a lot of Jamaican men. They will plait up them hair and put a lot of bubbles and all them
Because-
kind of hair.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to be like mommy.
Like mommy.
You understand? And then the second thing, no, if they don't emulate their mother, they emulate the don in the community. So
The man figure, the father
man
figure.
fig-
that,
the
that's-
father figure is the don.
what them
Because
know,
if you look
yeah.
look at these criminals in depth, right? The leaders of these gang, they treat these youths, these young youths, as their father.
Yes.
Yeah, you ever hear this crazy thing in Jamaica? You ever hear a man I call a next man daddy?
Yeah.
Like
Father,
that.
father. Yeah.
Yeah, yo father.
Yeah.
Yo my general.
Yeah.
Yo my dad.
Yeah.
You understand? That's coming from a place of
Needing
and
for a father.
wanting- Yeah,
Let-
wanting a father figure. You
Yeah.
understand? So Jamaican, like you have a famous artist that always say, "Yo, this a artist of my daddy."
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
So no, let me
So
show you something. Bob Marley said it best. I think when people say Bob Marley is a prophet, I think he spoke to especially Jamaican, because Jamaican is his people. But he spoke to Jamaicans in a way where right now you can see the meaning to the words that he said. And he had a song that says, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind." The problem with Jamaica is that Jamaica is in a mental slavery thing going on right now. Here is what the problem is. Women, and a lot of time we kind of, a lot of time I see this, right, where we blame the man, right? Now, and a lot of women gonna come for me with this. We blame the man, say, "Oh, him breed her and gone." You remember I saying, "Him breed her and gone." And a lot of time I've heard that so many times, even as a kid growing up, I heard him breed her and gone. Let me ask you a question: did he rape her?
no,
He did not rape her. So my point is that if the women of Jamaica take the stance to say, "Okay, listen, I'm a woman and a woman and my body is precious." No, the whole gallus culture, I'm not against the fact that a man can have a woman, but if you have 50 pitney, you have to take care of 50 of them. You have to have it in your mind. Say, boy, if you have 50 pitney out there, I have 50 women out there, I'll take care of my 50 you. So you have to figure out how you're going to do that if that's what you want. If you can only afford one woman, then you need to take care of the one woman and one pitney. So here's the point. The women have to take responsibility for their piece of this. Because the women know, go with a guy where she know from the gate, the guy didn't rape her. She know from the gate, so the guy probably have 3 or 4 pitney with 3 or 4 women already. Him now take care of one of them, right? But she make that conscious decision that she's gonna sleep with this guy because why? Him is a gunman. Because him gonna make a move. Him gonna run a mission. Him make a big money, and that's why.
true.
Right. So the mental slavery that I'm talking about is the women not understanding the value of themselves and their body. As a woman, you have to value. Women is the most powerful being on this earth. And the reason why Jamaica is the way is because women don't understand their power. The men that is driven by the women and want them so bad is because these women have the power. If women in Jamaica should stand up and say, "Listen to me, if a guy no go college, me nah, you don't have to go college, you know, but if a guy no go college, him nah get me." So, you see the guy when I go college or him not have the education enough to go to college, this guy will say, "Blood fire, you know, me have to do certain things to get it because me now get a woman." So here what happen now. The woman say, "All right, even if you don't go to college, but you have the ambition and me see I make the move, if a guy have a gun, me nah sleep with him." You know how many man we drop gun at Jamaica? If a guy don't go to high school and graduate, me nah sleep with him. If women start setting standards for themselves, setting standards to say, "Here is my standard. And if you want to sleep with me," because Jamaican man love women, quote unquote love women, because there's a lot of other side to, if you really look at the gangster culture, it's not all about the women because they beat the woman and then kill the woman and so forth. So I can't understand how you love women so bad and you do all of these things to women. So, but that's a whole different story. But if the culture is that we love women the way how we say we love women, right? No, we're going to do whatever to get the women. So if women start having standards to say, "Look here, me now get up." A woman, I grew up and I see my mother and father, right? My mother never had to, even though she did in different sprouts through her life, but she never had to get up and go out there, go work. She provide for us in terms of she cook, she clean and whatever. She did go out and work, right? And do all various kind of work. However, my father, no matter what it took, he made sure we ate. He made sure we had a roof over our head. If women have that standard, and prior to my father, if you look at all the men in Jamaica prior to that, them have them bush and then go bush, go farm, and them go do, they did whatever to take care of them, and they had their kids.
Well, you see, yes, all right. So this is what I was saying before in one of the programs then before, one of the episodes that we did. Women are the gatekeeper to the nation.
That's
And
true.
Women, they contribute to crime.
I
in a
completely
big way.
agree.
Because you see, most of the songs them that come out is all about the man them attack. So they have all these women, and,
right?
And the dance, as I said, dancehall music encourage women
Right.
to want to have a bad man,
Right.
want to have a gunman,
Right.
young woman. You understand? And to me, I find it really this is my personal opinion. I find it disgusting because
It is.
I wouldn't want to be with a woman that want a bad man.
Right.
You
right.
understand? Like women is, and then when they get into these relationship with these bad men, they find out say, hey, it's not that glamorous because this man cannot even stay in a house.
Well, and you have to worry about them shooting in the house and kill you.
Yeah, you can't stay in the house. You're pitting with them. Your pitney can't spend time with him.
Let me ask. Let me ask the
So-
women and ladies. I would love some of these ladies who have a bad man boyfriend or who believe this kind of way. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, please let me understand. Say it in the comment section or whatever. Let me ask these women: what is more attractive? What is your purpose in life? What is more attractive? If you get a guy that go to school, get an education, him hustle. In terms of, when you use the term hustle, some people use the term hustle when a man go rob a man. That's not hustle. You're a freaking thief. When you go rob or stick up somebody, you're a thief. Let's call it from, oh, me go hustle, I'm go rustle. No, you don't hustle. You are a thief. Now, a real hustler, a guy who say, all right, maybe me not have the education like that other guy there or whatever, but you know what, me go out this and me have me ice him in stand, or me have me this, or me have me that, or me try to build a thing. I me take my money, I me take this one thing, I me build another thing, I me build another thing, I me go towards doing something. That guy, most of the women don't want. But what is better if you get a guy that goes to school, put him head to him books, do what him have to do, and get that education and move up in a life? Is it nicer for you to be on the corner with some guy who have some gun and them shoot up and you have to run and hide and you might get shot or your kids might get shot and he might get killed? Or be with a guy that can say, baby, look here, come, we are going to New York. Baby, come, we are going to London. Baby, come, we're going on a cruise.
Well,
Because he's able, because he do what he needs to do. For example, I'm not bragging or whatever, because again, Shawnee B put him head to him thing and do what him have to do. But for example, Shawnee B, right? If you look at him and you look at what he has to offer to a woman, right? If a woman have him, she have a nice life. Versus if you have a guy who have a gun and a run up and down and a bus gunshot everywhere, you have to worry about a lot more.
But okay, what you all right, so in terms of what females look for or what a woman look for, you gotta understand this. Women or men look for not just the security, the beginning of the relationship, right? They don't look just for security. They look for other things apart from that.
Right.
So when you pick a woman, or I pick a woman, right? We're not picking a woman because she have money.
Right. No, we pick out a woman for certain
So there's
qualities.
other parts that play
Right.
play of that, right? So you have to understand at the same time too. There's a natural reaction of what a woman see that she's attracted to,
Right.
naturally,
Right.
whether we like it or not. So a woman may see something and they're just attracted to that.
But why?
And listen to this right carefully. And this really, I don't want to like go on because I have some questions I really want to ask and get you guys just able to share your views. But you could be at work or you could be anywhere in any environment that you spend 8 hours, 9 hours, long hours in, right?
Right.
And a woman will see you being nice to everyone, being kind to everyone, and you're doing everything, and
She's
smiling,
attracted to that.
and she's attracted to that. She don't see you home scratching your balls and and no, real talk. She
Right.
don't see you home doing that. She don't see when you're home and the garbage can is right there and you throw the whatever there.
Right. And then line on the
Not
floor.
saying that none of us do that.
Right.
But I'm just saying they don't see the
That
other
piece.
dirty part of us.
Right.
Right, so they just see what's up front,
Right.
and they fall in love with that
With that,
because
right.
they're like they see what at home, if they have a man at home, or they see what they had,
Right.
and they're like, oh, he's like this. He don't want to work. He don't want to look at this guy that's here that's working,
Right.
doing this, doing that, right? So it's not and not knowing like that same guy that is there working is just a piece of shit too.
Right.
Just as the same guy that
At
you've probably
home.
been with or
Yeah.
is at home.
Right.
So we fall in love or we
With
get
the image.
attracted with the outside image of it and not taking the time to actually assess somebody before you actually sleep with them
Right.
or actually say, you know what, listen, this is what's gonna happen
Right.
in order for us to get to stage 1 or step 2, whatever it may be.
Right.
I need to see this from you.
Right.
So when you talk about holding guys accountable, I honestly feel like women really need to hold themselves accountable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree with
No,
that.
no, I agree with
That's
that.
why I said women are the gatekeeper in Jamaica, especially. You understand? Because if woman more likely if you say, "Yo, look, me don't want," as you said earlier,
Right.
like you don't want a man with this, with,
Right,
with
right.
gun and all that.
Gangsta. Right,
You want a
right.
man with a college education.
Right, right.
And look, I don't want to like basically class all Jamaican women as loving bad man. I don't want.
No,
to
no, that's not true.
Jam-
Cause,
you have
right,
some,
right, right, right,
You
right.
have some wonderful Jamaican women out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Educated Jamaican
Absolutely,
women.
absolutely.
yeah.
Some of the smartest women in the world. Yeah.
Like the ones that give us problem, right? Are the you understand? Are the ones that I would like. This is somebody else's terminology, but the kerosene.
Right, right, right,
You
right, right,
understand?
right, right. They get
They
the
get-
people in
yeah.
the, I don't know all people in that ghetto either because
not
you have
all
some
people in
very
ghetto.
decent people in that ghetto.
Yeah, listen, man.
Yeah.
Real Jamaican women are beautiful. Not that I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're beautiful women.
That's his
Yeah, you got
disclaimer,
some-
people.
You got some good Jamaican women. Down
Let me
there.
tell you something. Here's
But as well, you have some bad
oh,
ones. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Dave, Sean, we have about 1 minute. So I don't know if you guys want to wrap it up real quick, but
Right.
share your opinion quick. You got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds, and let's go.
Listen, here is what I say, right? I feel that in order to change a lot of things, and this show is about discussing about solutions to the problems that we have in Jamaica, and we're discussing solution. And I think that if women in Jamaica, starting with women in Jamaica, start recognizing their value and start realizing that I am more precious than being with a bad man or putting my life or my family life at jeopardy to be with this guy. I know sometimes it's out of needs in the ghetto, in the garrison. Sometimes it's need. You need to get something and you don't have the money, so you deal with a guy because you think he can provide that. But there's beautiful women. These women are beautiful, nice, lovely, beautiful women. There are men out here that would love to have these women and show them a different side of life. And I'm asking the women in the garrison, in the ghetto, to kind of just recognize their value.
Hold on. I have a problem with that. So you have in Jamaica, right? Especially in the garrisons, you have females down there that have psychological problems.
True.
So you have females down there that will get a good guy
And
and push with a good guy.
I agree.
You understand? So I would disagree in that case. You do have some. There is a number of them down there that would get a good guy and be happy with the good
Right,
guy.
right.
But there's a few that when they get the guy, they do all kind of stuff to hurt the guy
Because
and
they don't
and
know no
push it-
better.
They don't know any.
They
better.
don't know no better.
Exactly.
But
So
there has
if
to there has
so
to
that's
be
why.
Mhm.
That's why, as a guy,
Mhm.
right? For me, as a guy with standards and have class with certain things, you understand? I wouldn't want to go and deal with.
No,
somebody
but
like
how
that.
do we
It's-
help those
but
women in the
it's-
garrison though?
No, well,
Because they are the ones, the women in the garrison are the ones that's really encouraging these bad men.
I
And if they have
understand,
no
I understand.
options, right.
I understand that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of a thing where you have to look at yourself. You understand? When women kind
Hold
of
yourself accountable.
hold
yourself
exactly as you
accountable,
said
right.
earlier. It's like holding yourself accountable. If a woman in the garrison take a self check and say, you know what, look at the situation I'm in. I'm gonna look for somebody that's gonna provide for me. This is the type of guy that I want.
Right.
And she go out and get that guy, right? And then she get that guy and she treat that guy good.
Well, right.
Then, yes, she help herself. It's kind of you have to, like in this case.
Help me to help you.
Yeah, in this case is more the government really can't help people like that.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. It's kind of your mindset in a way, right? The government can't really do that. But where the government can come in and help is with Planned Parenthood.
Right.
Right, so bringing in more Planned Parenthood programs into Jamaica, where
Right.
you teach people how protect themselves when them active and all them stuff. To say have more kids. When you
Right.
have kids, this is how you raise the kids.
Right, right.
Going into the ghetto and helping these single mothers raise their kids.
Right, right.
That's how you're gonna stop it.
Right, right.
You understand? Because then you change. You change.
You have to change the mindset.
You have to change that mindset. That you're not gonna happen overnight. Like we
No.
can't say anything and then there's a
It's
light
just,
switch.
and it's go up. But
It's if you have to help yourself.
what I was saying is that
So-
if those women that even that you spoke of, right, which I completely agree, there's a lot of them that get some good guys and they don't know how to treat them. But if they feel like they have no hope or no options but these guys, then they're gonna continue to do whatever, and you're gonna have generations upon generations of these people.
It's a product of your environment,
Right.
right? So this is the thing. It goes back to even what we was talking about earlier, where it's about reforming the garrisons, right?
Mhm.
Going in and planning like Planned Parenthood,
Right.
and going in and taking back the community. So
Right.
once you take back the community and you fix up the community, make it look better,
Mhm.
right? People gonna become a product of an environment, so
Right.
people mindset is gonna change.
Right.
So that's one way you're gonna change, and that's a more of a long-term solution. It's not a short. Sadly to say, there's not a short-term.
There is
solution.
none.
Well,
There's no short-term solution for this.
Well, very good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
And we next, guys, please tune in because we're gonna be talking about just basically. I'm just gonna mention really quick, right? And just hold your thoughts because we're gonna talk about this in another episode.
Okay.
So the next episode is 90% of the household is kids have been raised by the grandparents
Right.
or their mother.
Mhm.
90%. Right? So, guys, please continue to like, share, subscribe to Livewire Radio. Let's talk. And guys, continue to just support our channel and drop your comments and let us know what you think and what you feel. And continue to show us the love, and we will show you the love. And thank you.
Thank you all for reaching out. This is Livewire Radio 95.7 FM, livewireradio.com. Thank you all for tuning in. This is another Let's Talk program. We see you on the other
Episode.
side. Thank you.